Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. So it is that time of year again where I am going to share with you what I have been loving the most over this past year. Now, in inspiration with Emily Noel's Emily Awards that she recently did, I decided I'm going to share with you a full face of my makeup favorites. Half is going to be Drugstore and the other half is going to be name brand. Now before we get into it, do make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy videos like this, and as always I welcome you to join us here on my channel by clicking that subscribe button and notification bell. Now without further ado, let's get into it. So as always, I will have all the products that I am using in today's look listed in the description box down below. And I will also have each step labeled in the description so you have a timeline. So if there's a specific product that you are looking for, you'll be able to find it. So I am going to do name brand on this side and Drugstore on this side. Okay? Hopefully I'll be able to remember that. So for the name brand, the Tatcha Silk Canvas, I really love this. I started using it up again and I just keep coming back to it all year round. It just gives a nice veil of coverage, giving me a nice smooth canvas. I tend to just focus this primer where I'm struggling with my pores. Primarily most of it goes on my nose and I just kind of spread it out to my cheek area. Now for the Drugstore side, this past year is actually when I started really using it a lot because my skin has really struggled with hydration this past year. So I love using this because it not only gives me that smoothing effect that I love with the Tatcha, but it also hydrates my skin. Now, as you can tell, I have been loving this. I am hitting pan here. And what I love about this is that I can create my skin tone so it's a nice even shade. And then I have the setting powder to have it all set and ready to go to apply my eyeshadow. There are times that I will just put this on and that will be my eyeshadow. And I'm not sure you're able to see, but as you can see, this is nice and even and goes with my natural skin tone. And then this side, you could see the discoloration and just kind of see how it's not nice and even. Now for the Drugstore side, I will use Juvia's Place, and as much as I love this primer, I just made a huge mess. It's one of the things I don't like about this. I actually recently, oh my god, it got everywhere. I actually picked up one of these on Amazon, and since I have had this, I have not been making so much of a mess other than apparently today. So with this, what I love about it is that you literally only need a dab for both eyes. So I'm gonna try and pour out a little bit less than I normally do. As you can see, this is literally just a dot. I actually like using this when I really want to make my eyeshadow pop. So when I'm wearing more of colorful looks or just really glamorous looks, I like using this because it will help make my eyeshadow pop. When I'm doing a more natural everyday look, that's when I will use the Makeup by Mario one more so. So as you saw, I typically will use 3 products when it comes to my brows: the pencil, the pen, and the brow gel. So I typically will start off with the pencil, and the name brand side, the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I just love it. I mean, this is basically what I base all of my brow pencils up against. It just is just so easy to work with, and it's like a perfect match to my natural brow hair, and it just gives me a natural look with such ease, and it lasts all day. It just, like I said, it's just super easy to work with. Like, I love the spoolie, I love the formula, I love the shade, I just love it all. I think this is definitely one of the best brow pencils out there. I will say that I do love the L'Oreal, like, it's a close second. This too is super easy to work with, and the formula is great. Now, when it comes to the pens, I will have to say I tend to reach for the Milani Weekend Brow Pen more so than the ABH one. I will be honest, if I had gotten this earlier in the year, this is probably the name brand one that I would have picked, because this just is the only one that I have loved more than the ABH. It's just, I literally only got this a month ago, so I couldn't really pick that as my favorite. The reason why I like to use the pen and the pencil is because it gives dimension in my eyebrows. I mean, our eyebrow hair is not a natural one shade, so I actually like using the different formulas because it gives that dimension. The ABH Clear Brow Gel, this is basically the brow gel I compare all others to. I even have it available in a travel size, and that is how much I love it, and that is what I will bring with me whenever I travel. The brush, the spoolie, I love because it gets right into my eyebrows, and the formula, like, it doesn't get that hard, crispy feeling that some brow gels give you, and it just sets my eyebrows perfectly. I don't have to worry about like making it like get runny or anything. Now, for Drugstore brow gel, I really didn't have a favorite clear one. I have been actually testing out a few of them, and I just really haven't found one that I like more than the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt. I actually have this as a tinted brow gel. I have tried the clear version. I liked it, but not as much as I liked the tinted version. I don't know why, but I love the tinted version, and this is what I will use whenever I am going for a quick 5-minute makeup routine. And there are times I will actually even use this to set my brows, even if I did use a pencil and pen, just to kind of give an extra boost to my brows. The spoolie alone is amazing. One side you are able to brush the formula in, it's a little bit longer, and then the other side you can actually, that's how you can apply the product. I actually go back and forth depending on what my brows are looking at that time. Now on to the favorite part. For me, I actually tended to keep gravitating to the same brand, Drugstore and name brand, in their palettes. I kept going to was the Natasha Denona palettes. These palettes have pretty much been the go-to palettes I have been using all year round, and she actually came out with these 3 this year, and I did reviews on these 3, and you can find them on my YouTube channel. So the ones that I have been using a lot are, once again, my favorite ones. It's the Retro and the Glam palette. I will say I actually regret buying this one. This is the only Natasha Denona palette I regret buying. That's because for me the formula were not consistent with what I experienced with the other eyeshadow palettes that I have from her. Now for my drugstore favorite, I would have to say is the Profusion eyeshadow palettes. I have currently 3 of them. I have the Bare, the Smoky, and the Citrine. I just find these palettes just super easy to work with. The mattes easily blendable and buildable. If you're a new beginner looking for an eyeshadow palette that you are going to be able to quickly be able to use, I'm telling you, these are a great option and I highly recommend. The shimmers are just as gorgeous as the Natasha Denona ones. One of the main reasons why I like Natasha Denona palettes is her shimmers. I just think that they are the best on the market, and Profusion is a close second to them. So I got my eye looks done. So this is the Natasha Denona Retro palette look, and this is the Profusion Bare palette look. So as you can see, the Profusion I really like using for my everyday makeup looks. I can use the Retro palette for an everyday look easily, but I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit more of a glam look on that way. That way you can kind of tell which side is which. Name brand, drugstore. Okay, so moving on. Now for eyeliner. To be honest, I was not a big eyeliner wearer most of the year. Now what I like about both of these liners is that the tip on them makes it really easy to get right in, because I really don't have much space with me having hooded eyes, so I really need to have a thin line whenever I do have a liner look. Now the difference that there is with the Stilo one and the NYX one is the Stilo one, the tip is a lot longer. I actually think it's more of a bad thing. I think the Epic ink, the NYX pen, it has the perfect length. This NYX one, it can kind of I'm more likely to make a mistake like I just did. I mean, it's great when you really just want to get right here. When it comes to lining my eyes, I will more likely make a mistake with the Stilo one than the NYX ones. But like I said, this is actually easier to work with in the inner corner when you want to make a line, like in the tear ducts. Now, as far as gel liners, the pencil liners, same thing. I really didn't wear them that much. The one I did wear quite often, especially in my everyday look, so this is kind of like an honorable mention, the Essence Extreme Lasting Waterproof Liner in Silky Nude. And this is what I would actually wear, which I'm going to actually apply on both sides. This is what I would wear in my waterline. And I got this pencil for $2 at Ulta when it was on sale. So highly recommend. This will last pretty much most of the day. All right. Now last for the eyes is mascara. What I love about the Rare Beauty mascara is the length that it gives my lashes. I love using this for my feminine flirty looks. This is the mascara I will always reach for. It extends my lashes beautifully, as you can see the difference. I always just get the small one because it's much more affordable. The thing is I'm always testing out new mascaras, so I always try to get the mini versions of mascaras whenever possible, especially the name brand ones, because they can get quite expensive. Now for the affordable end, if you're looking for a waterproof mascara that is going to last you all day, this is it. The Kathy Cat Play All Day. This is actually what I wore to a recent funeral where I was bawling my eyes out most of the day. And I'm telling you, this did not run at all. My mascara stayed intact all day. And this is what? Oh, shoot. And this is what I wore. This is why I hate talking and being near my eye. Now, it's not going to be such a dramatic difference. Please ignore this. A dramatic difference as the Rare Beauty one. As you can see, it doesn't give you a full extent. But this is what I would wear in my everyday look. Whenever I knew I was going to cry or sweat a lot, this is what I wore. Like, it makes your lashes like really intense. I just love it. Alright, so I am just going to let that dry, doing the foundation, and then I'm going to clean that up. So as you could see with foundation, I was using tinted moisturizers a lot this year. For me, especially these tinted moisturizers that I have been using, like, they just look good on the skin. They give me the coverage that I want. They are lightweight. Like, I would go back and forth with these all year round. These were the ones that I was wearing on a regular basis. I actually originally got the Pure 4-1 tinted moisturizer, I believe in a BoxyCharm box a few years back. And since then, this has been my tinted moisturizer that I compare all other tinted moisturizers to. But I will say the Wet n Wild one will come ahead of my Pure one when my skin is extremely dry. Now, what I like about tinted moisturizers is you can actually use your hands, you can use a brush, you can use a sponge, you can use whatever your heart desires. Now, with these two, I will say I have applied them with all my fingers, a brush, a sponge, and it looks the same. Coverage is the same on both sides. Like I said, the only difference that I have noticed that comes between these two is that the Wet n Wild one is more hydrating. So if you do have drier skin, or like now that it is winter time and our skin tends to be on the drier end, the Wet n Wild one would be a great choice. I mean, it's usually, you can find it at your local Walmart or drugstore for like $5. So you can't beat that at all. And as you can see, what I love about both of them is just how it just gives my skin a natural glow from within look, while also giving me some coverage. These are definitely a great option and what I would recommend for your everyday foundation. So what I've come to notice with my concealers is the Radiant one I would wear with my more glamorous, full coverage, full face looks. And then for my everyday, natural, no makeup, everyday looks, I use the NYX concealer serum. This is another one I need to be very careful because I will pour too much. So I will just do half of a pump. And one thing I don't like about the concealer one is that I can't do this. I kind of just gotta bring it out. So what I like about the serum one is I actually have fine lines underneath my eyes. And this one does not settle into my fine lines. And it doesn't look cakey. It's hydrating. It's like the perfect concealer for those of us with aging skin, especially around our eyes. You are going to be in love with this concealer. I have not used a concealer that gives the results like this, name brand or drugstore. The reason why I tend to use the Radiant concealer one is I just feel that this one has more coverage than the, I mean, this does have great coverage. I do have dark under eye circles too, and it covers my dark under eye circles. But when I really have intense dark under eye circles, I will have to go with the Radiant concealer because it's just a little bit better coverage. But the thing with this one is, I noticed with the NARS one, is if you do put too much, it will settle into the fine lines. So as you saw, I have a loose powder and a pressed powder. Two different formulas, but these are my two favorite powders. These are the ones that I reach for the most. So I will use the loose powder more when I am looking to do like a baking on the under eye, more for my glam looks, things where I'm like making sure I'm having everything set. I do have other loose powders that I use. An affordable one that I like that is a loose powder is actually the L'Oreal Infallible loose setting powder. Now for pressed powder, if you want an alternative in name brand, I will say the One Size powder is the one that I have been using a lot of this past year. So as you saw for bronzer, I have two products, a cream product and a powder product. And that is basically what I did for the majority of my looks, everyday looks and glam looks. I would use a cream product and then set it with a powder bronzer. And these four products is basically what I used interchangeably. You know, sometimes I use this with the Fenty, sometimes I use it like this, and vice, you know, I mix it all about. Now the Fenty stick, I just find it just super easy to blend. And the shade, I like the shade, it goes good with my skin tone, but the reason why this is my favorite is just because of how easy it is to blend out. I mean, just a couple pounds and it's already blended out. Like I said, it's just so easy to work with. Now the reason why I do a cream and a powder is because I feel like it lasts longer when I do both. For someone that has pretty pale face, the bronzer just, it kind of gives me some type of color where I'm not looking like a ghost. Now for the drugstore side, the one that I have been loving is the Avon one. Now this is a lot lighter than my Fenty one, but the reason why I do love this is because I can build it up if I need to, and the main reason why I love this is because this is what I use in my everyday makeup. And as easy as the Fenty stick is to blend, this one is even faster. Like, it's just so fast. Like, I was absolutely shocked in how fast it was to blend out. I don't know, it just looks more natural. But for my everyday makeup, this is what I go for. It just makes my makeup routine go much faster too, because this goes even faster with blending than the Fenty one. So now for the powder, I'm going to apply that on top of the Fenty to kind of give it, make sure it looks good. I will say the Laura Mercier one, I have not found a name brand powder bronzer that I like more than that one. I've tried quite a few, but that one just, I don't know, it just looks gorgeous on my skin. I just love how it looks, and it just blends out beautifully. And so now for the Milani one, this just glides on the skin perfectly and just melts into the skin, just like the cream bronzer that I used on this side. The only issue I have with this bronzer, as you can tell, the cover broke off. And the thing is this is not the only one I have from Milani. I have a blush from them with the same type of container, and that one broke too. So that's the only issue I have with these. Now if this was the affordable one, I would have a problem because, you know, spending more money, better have better packaging. I don't know. I have a hard time finding a dupe to this that I like. I just think it is gorgeous. I love that it has like a shimmer to it, so it gives you that nice sun-kissed look. The formula I love, the color I love. You can't beat NARS Orgasm. This is still my go-to favorite. Now for Drugstore, I will have to say the one that I keep going to over and over again is the Milani Luminoso. I just think that this shade is absolutely gorgeous. It's a peachy shade. It's not too orangey. It's not too pinky. It's just a perfect peach shade. I have not found a blush with this type of shade, and I think it goes perfect with my skin tone. I actually love using this in my everyday makeup look. I don't wear blush every day, but in my everyday look, if I do wear blush, this is what I will go for. Now for highlighters, I have actually been loving this from Zoeva, the Cocoa Blend highlighter, and it's actually like a blush lighter. It's got a highlighter color, and then it's kind of got like a blush shade right here. As you can see, the highlighter is my favorite, but I've actually been using this more this year. Especially the last few months, I've actually been using this. I just think it's a shade that goes with everything. It looks gorgeous on my skin. Whenever I put this on, I always get compliments on how glowing my skin looks. It doesn't look like you're wearing highlighter. It literally looks like your skin is just glowing beautifully. And that is this highlighter. And I do believe they are discontinuing this, so next time I go to Ulta, I'm gonna have to make sure when I place an Ulta order, if they still have it, I'm gonna have to pick up another one, because I do believe they're discontinuing this, and I am going to be very sad. Now, another highlighter that I can wear no matter what look I'm wearing, it is this highlighter from Wet n Wild in, I don't remember what shade it is. I will look it up, and the shade will be right here. That's the shade I have. Sorry. One thing I will say, Wet n Wild, this is what you need to do. You need to put the name on the back of the package, because what happens, they put the shade name over here on the sticky part of the tag, and I'll put it in the front. So when you open it, you take the tag off, then you don't know the shade. Put it on the back of the package, please, so that way we remember and can tell others what shade to get. Now I will say they do have a cool design on their highlighting powders, and it does make it look more high-end, I will say. And this is another highlighter that just gives you nice glowing skin. If you're looking for that mega glow from within look, this is another highlighter. And what's even better is you can get this for a couple bucks at your local Walmart or drugstore. My cheeks are like okay, so now for lips. So actually this year I have been using a lot more of a bare lip. So I do want to share with you lip oils that I have been loving. So when I just want a bare lip look with a lip liner, the one that I go to is the Tarte one. It is in the shade Fresh Press. It's kind of got like a little bit of a peachy tone to it. Now when I want to have a little bit of a color to my lip, I will use the Tipsy lip oil. And what I like about the Tipsy one is, yeah, I know this is a little bit bright. I will put this on before I go to work, and it'll still be there when I get out of work. I work in a doctor's office, so I wear a mask all day. And it'll kind of look like a softer version of this. This is still kind of bright, but it's not as bright as when you first put it on. for overall year, I will say these have been the lip colors that I have been reaching for. So I'm going to apply these real quick because I know I'm not going to be able to talk and put these on at the same time. So I will be right back. So for lip liners, these are pretty much the only two brands that I keep reaching for. The Too Faced and the Avon lip liners. Like, those are pretty much the only brands that I use on a daily basis. For lip color, if you're looking for lip colors that are going to last you all day, these are great choices. For a name brand, this is by far my favorite. It's super lightweight, and I want to say that it is a little bit drying on the lips, so you do want to make sure you put like a chapstick and just make sure your lips are hydrated before applying this, because this can be a little bit drying. Now, as for the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink, I actually fell in love with this. I got this last year and fell in love with this and ended up picking up more shades at the beginning of this year. It's super lightweight on the lips. It's not very drying at all. Once it dries down, like, you do not even know you have anything on your lips. Highly recommend. And they got a wide variety of shades that you will find shades that you will love. Now for the lip gloss, the Maybelline is a dupe for the Fenty. I know the Milani lip gloss a lot of time gets named a dupe for the Fenty lip gloss, but the Maybelline, especially with the shade Fussy, the shade Moon, I'm telling you, these are identical. Like, they are so close. So this is the Fenty version, and this is the Maybelline version. So you could see they are very close. Okay, now to set it all into place. And these are my go-to still. I believe Milani and Urban Decay setting sprays have been my favorite almost for the last few years. I'm gonna use my Michaela eyeshadow palette to block my so I can make sure I spray it, not get on the other side. Now whenever I apply setting spray, I will grab my dampened sponge and just kind of make sure it is pressed into the skin and everything is just blended, because once the setting spray dries, that's it. It's locked in with these bad boys. So what I have tend to notice is I use the Urban Decay setting spray basically when I know I'm going to be needing something that's going to be lasting me all day, and or when I am going to be like dealing with my oily skin. I have combination skin, so I love using this when I need help making sure that my oily parts of my skin is not going to break up my makeup. This is what I will use. Now when I want to have nice glowing skin, this is the one I will go for. I have used the regular Make It Last one as well, which I do believe I have, but this is the dewy version, is the one that I have been using a lot this year. I'm actually almost out of this. I hopefully have enough. If you want like that glass-like skin, this is definitely going to help give you that, and it does lock in your makeup. So that is it. Here are the final looks. So Well, that is it for today. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Do you have products in your makeup collection that are just faves year after year like I have? Or did you have any new discoveries this year that have become your new faves? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you have been loving this past year. Also, I would love to hear if you agree with me or disagree with me with any of the products that I used. Now, if you did enjoy today's video, you can let me know by clicking that like button as well. And as always, I do welcome you to join us here on my channel by clicking that subscribe button and notification bell. That way you're notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a happy, healthy, fulfilling, successful new year. Until next time, bye.